While speaking to caregivers in my work as an advisor or public speaker, many will say it's rewarding and a privilege to care for a loved one with a brain tumor, but they will also add that being a caregiver is mentally and physically exhausting, an around-the-clock job with little support and socially isolating. Hi, I'm Janet Fanaki, a former care partner to my husband who had glioblastoma and an advisor with WeTrials. The Caregiver Chronicles is where I discuss topics that are geared to support caregivers, things that you are currently facing or will likely encounter in your role, as well as offering you ways to help navigate through them. In this episode, I'll be discussing mindful practices for care partners. A brain tumor diagnosis can come very quickly, usually from a seizure or sudden medical changes. Whether you are a spouse, child, or parent, there's no time for a caregiver to prepare for this new role and all of the demands that will follow. Care for your loved one can span years, with the level of care increasing as time goes on. All of the attention is focused on the patient, leaving very little time for a caregiver to care for themselves once all other daily essentials are met. There are a lot of challenges that come from trying to claim me time when you're in the thick of caring for a loved one with a brain tumor. Depending on their stage with the illness, it can be as difficult as even finding time to quickly use the restroom because of the worries surrounding their cognitive symptoms and that something awful may happen to them, like a serious fall or burning themselves on the stove. Life becomes very unpredictable, frustrating, and exhausting, and caregivers find themselves becoming anxious and constantly on guard. So what are some ways to recharge your batteries, rest, or just find a bit of time to focus on yourself and your own well-being? Recently, I listened to a fascinating talk hosted by Nancy Kreisman, a social worker out of Atlanta who has written several books, with one titled The Mindful Caregiver. Nancy goes through some of the barriers to self-care that caregivers face, feeling like they need to do it all, have difficulty saying no, they don't want to seem selfish, and no one else will help. Do any of these sound familiar? How can mindfulness help you as a caregiver? Being mindful can help caregivers cope with the demands of their role, manage anxiety and fatigue, and lead to a better quality of life for themselves and their loved one. Some of the things that helped me included learning to ask for help, knowing my limits, mindful deep breathing exercises, lying down when he was occupied, and having music or news playing in the background to fill the air. Other ways to practice mindfulness include guided meditation. There's so many free programs online. Some of my favorites are on Spotify, as well as self-help resources through the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada and American Caregivers Association. Other techniques are journaling, mindful walks where you focus on the environment around you, like taking photos of flowers and wildlife, which is personally one of the things that I love to do, and finding support groups, either in person or online. Caregiver support groups are a great way to connect with others who are going through similar challenges to you and intimately understand your situation. You may even strike up friendships, which is a really good thing. There may even be resources that are at your disposal that you may not have tapped into yet. So check with your health provider, clinic social worker, palliative team, and caregiving organizations where you live. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, so be sure to fill it with the things that will nourish you for the journey ahead. To learn more about treatments, clinical trials, and support for caring for a loved one with a brain tumor, visit WeTrials.com and follow on social media at WeTrials. Thanks so much for watching, and please share this video with others. The next episode of the Caregiver Chronicles will focus on when you're going home from surgery. I'm Janet Fanaki. See you next time.